welcome to the Lead Her Morning Show, where we talk about leadership, healing, self-love, discipline, and becoming the woman we are called to be. This is your time to reset your mind, grow, reflect, and start your day with intention. What's up, Pammy? I just started. So here we go. Today's episode is about stop seeking validation. Stop seeking validation. Good morning, sweetheart. Now, this is very important in your healing process, right? As a woman, knowing when to stop seeking validation, that goes for trying to prove your self-worth as well. Trying to prove to everyone that, I am who I say I am. I do love. I'm just genuine. I'm not like the others. I'm not like this person. I'm just me. This is who I am. Stop trying to prove yourself to people because, baby, they know who you are. It's just the fact that they know they're not good enough for you. So they're trying to find their easy way out. Listen, you got to allow people to find their easy way out. It's not that you're not good enough. It's not that you're not beautiful. It's not any of that. They just know they can't equal to who you are. They're not equal to that. And since they're not equal to that, they know that they can't provide for you. So let them go. That's their easy way out. Like, no, it's got to be a catch. Stop trying to prove yourself to people at that job that you're good enough for the job. They know you're good enough. That's why they didn't give you the chance, because if you're too good, you might take their position. Stop living for other people's approval. Stop seeking validation. How do you do that? Let's talk about it. Stop living for other people's approval. Screw them people. You don't need approval from them. Not at all. All you need to do is operate in your purpose and do what God told you to do. Stop living and expecting other people, okay, well, they might like it. Or when you put on clothes and you look in the mirror and you're like, no. Then you start imagining what people say. You start imagining what it'll look like or what other people might think and how if it was you, what you would think. Then don't put it on. Go in their closet and put their clothes on. Trust me, when you put their clothes on, they're going to talk about you like a dog because it never was the clothes. It's the fact that it's you. They talking about you. They don't like you, not the clothes. So anything that they can try and project onto and not make it look like they are a hater and make it known that it's you, they'll say, oh yeah. Somebody will say, oh, I like that necklace. Yeah, I do too, but it just don't go with that. Yeah, but anytime that you're having a conversation, even if it's your closest homegirl, and every time you give or they give a compliment to somebody and they say, but, disconnect from them. Disconnect from them. I'm telling you, I didn't say cut them off. I said disconnect from them. Because those same people always see the glass half empty, and it'll cause you to always see the negative in everything. You're a good person. You're healing. You see the glass all the way full. You see it as, oh, wait a minute. They see this much. I ain't got nothing but a swallow left. You like, man, I got a whole meal. I can drink a whole meal off of that, because you see the best in everything. You don't want to be around people that always but. So a lot of people are not living their life. They're not living their life. They're living a life that will be accepted by other people. If I can get other people to accept me, then I'll be good. That's what they think. If I can get other people to accept me, then I'll be good. This shows up. Let me give you a couple of ways this shows up. This shows up making decisions based on what people will think. Oh man, I should cut my hair. I went in that bathroom, chopped all my hair off. Sure did. And I go to my barber and I'm going to let him edge it up. Yes, I don't care nothing about what folks think about me. This is what I like. This is how I like. This is something that, fits me. This is who I am. See, my seasons change. I may want long hair this season and grow my hair out. And then this season I change. I am not the same woman in each season of my life of growth. I continue to grow and become better. What does she say? Getting betterer and betterer. Yes, that's me. Paula Nelson, welcome in. So I don't make decisions based on what people think. I don't care what you think. Dressing, speaking, or acting for approval. Good morning, baby girl. I don't care. Listen, I'm going to put on what I want to put on. And I'm going to be bold in it. Yes, I will put on some stuff that people will never think to put together. And I get compliments on it because of the fact their whole thing is, man, I would have never thought to put those colors together and it looked good, but I could never do it. Or when I would hear people say, man, you got to be bold to cut your hair. I've always worn short hair. It's just that you met me in a season of my life when I had long hair. The people from, my Iraq days, and the people from my military days, and the people from my younger me in my 30s and below, my 30s and below, they knew me with short hair. So they couldn't accept the fact with long hair. They're like, wait a minute now, you growing hair? What's up, melanated law? Come on in. You growing hair, right? Wait, did I miss a comment? I went to my therapist today, and she told you've been recognized me, and I have a smile from cheek to cheek. Went to my therapist today, and she told you been recognized me, and I have a smile from. Wait a minute. What are we saying? Because I think I'm reading it wrong. But whatever it is good news, right? Sorry. So listen, she didn't recognize me. I dressed up. Oh! Girl, I almost choked on my saliva. Listen, go ahead, Paula. I'm trying to tell you. Because sometimes it just takes just a little bit of saying, I'm taking control today. All it does, because I told you the enemy plant that seed of, I don't feel like it. And then you don't feel like it. But the moment you throw something in there, oh, I feel like it. Oh, I got time today. Go ahead. I like that. And you can put in the chat of why that is important to you so other people can read it and understand why is that a thing? Because some people be like, okay, that's what you're supposed to do. That's not what you're supposed to do. It's what you choose to do. And sometimes depression will keep you from choosing that choice. Now, so what's another thing? How it shows up when you're trying to be accepted by others? Staying quiet to avoid being judged. Staying quiet. I'm just not going to say nothing because I don't want people to think I'm stupid. Okay, so you're worried about people thinking you're stupid. But God created you with the intelligence and the wisdom for this moment. Oh, okay. Don't worry about it. That was me too. Okay, not starting things because of fear of opinion. Testimony. God told me it was time. I started my business 2023. I relaunched the non-fitness business. I did that. God told me I was going to start a business. He didn't tell me what it was. And I went and did what I thought. Because I'm a personal trainer, I'm good at it. Okay, I'll do that. That's not what God wanted me to do. What he did was planted the seed, and he was supposed to give me instructions. And let me tell you something. Launching that thing and trying to get customers and everything like that, it was such a struggle. I was getting frustrated. And once I realized frustration comes from being out of alignment. Okay, I had to shut the Not Fitness down and got the Trinity of Fitness Bootcamp. And everything's been smooth. I have not been frustrated. Because if Not Fitness, when I started that, I was worrying about what everybody was going to say. Is they going to think this and they going to think that? I got to do this. I got to be proper. I got to do. That was me. But God, Trinity of Fitness Bootcamp, the Lead Her Movement, Trinity Owners United, all those things that is me, that showcase me. Therefore, I'm not frustrated because this is who I am. I can show up as my true authentic self. I'm not trying to be like somebody else. Look for the approval. Before Not Fitness, I'm looking for approval. I'm looking for people to buy into my programs. Trinity of Fitness Bootcamp, I realized that I am the program. I am all that. You understand? I got told I had book sense and no common sense a lot growing up. I had to unlearn that in my 40s. Yes! I wish we had something here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, because I would go to a woman support group. Oh, don't worry about it, Paula. You're in the right place because the Lead Her movement is going to be nationwide. International, global. Don't worry about it. The app will be opened up for my founding members May 19th. Okay. And yes, that's what I was told too. I wasn't told I got book smart because I wasn't going to school. I was told I got street smart. But what they didn't know, and this is why it's messing everybody up, because I almost said it from Django when he said, who is that up on that now? Who is that up on my doggone screen? Who keep coming on here teaching? Who are you? I'm confusing everybody, and I love every bit of it because of the fact I didn't just make this sense up. I've always had it. I just stayed quiet to avoid being judged, because the people that I were around, they did not have the conscience that I had. They did not have the deep conversations and the thoughts that I had. So therefore, I knew from early on that speaking your sense to people that is not on that level is going to piss you off. So I've learned to just stay quiet and just grow, right? And when my time comes, then I just show up, and here I am. I'm telling you, I'm messing them all up. They can't take, baby, I'm in everybody's group chat. Baby, everybody that did me wrong, or everybody that thought less of me is looking like, who in the is on that now? Who is that on that now? That's how they feel, because they don't understand. This is who I've always been. It's just that it wasn't my time. So what's another thing? People, what it look like living a life that will be accepted by others. This is another way it shows up. How does this show up? Not starting things because of the fear of opinions, over explaining yourself, trying to please everyone, over explaining yourself. Let's talk about that one, the over explaining yourself. I had that bad, right? And I'm like, okay, I don't want them to feel stupid while I'm explaining this, right? Yeah. I don't want them to feel stupid when I'm saying this stuff, but I don't want them to think I think they stupid, because I have to break it all the way down. People will get frustrated, like, kind of like get to the point, like land the plane, like, come on. And it's not that, it's just that bringing it from here to you is the problem. Because it makes sense to people that's on the vibration with me, right? Me teaching this class to someone that's on low vibration, they like, okay, stop seeking validation. Just get to the end of it. What I need to stop doing. It's a process, because you need to identify some things. So that's what the issue was. So I learned to just not talk, because when God give me my download, when God give me what I need, when God, give me my creative ideas and everything, I just can't take it to, anybody. Willie Blow and JoJo and them. I just can't. I don't know why I use that old name. That's kind of funny to me. I don't know why. I can't just take it to them. I've learned that I can't take it to anyone other than right here in front of me. I have to put it on paper. I have to put it down on digits, because I haven't got the full instruction. But this part right now, I may not understand it right now. I may need to rest and then come back to it. And when I come back to it, it's going to make all of the sense to me, but someone else reading it is just a bunch of mess. If I dropped all my manuals on everyone right now, or gave them my hard drive right now, they'll just go through it and just read and read and read, like, okay. And then they would teach it like this. So as I started, a lot of people are not living in their life. They're living life are trying to be accepted by others. It shows up making decisions based on what people dressing, speaking, or acting. So bottom line, you don't understand. You have to, from a place of a testimonial place. See, that's why I don't get upset when people take content, or don't get upset when people take your content. Don't get upset at those things, because of the fact it's your testimony that delivers the message. It's your testimony that God bring the people that I need to see. I get new people in here every day. Because this topic resonates with them. Yesterday's topic didn't resonate. They probably scrolled on by yesterday. Do you understand? But it's my testimony. These are the things I went through. I teach from that. Thank y'all so much, April and Abundance. Thank you, sir, for the follow. I can't pronounce your name, and I hate that. Let me see. Abonus. And anybody else that followed, thank y'all so much. Okay, thank you so much, Smiley, for the likes. What is that? Smakali, I think I caught that. Listen, I try to acknowledge everybody because I appreciate everybody. But let's get into here. So listen, this is how it shows up. Over explaining yourself, like I just did, trying to explain to y'all that I try and pronounce everybody's name and this, that. But no, over explaining yourself because you're trying to prove your self-worth to people. We're not doing it no more. Trying to please everybody. No, the problem is when you live for approval, you lose yourself. because you're so busy trying to make people believe who you are that you're not even acting who you are. The best revenge that you can get on someone is being who you said you are. I am who I say I am. That is the best thing I can say. I am who I say I am. So when they go behind my back and make up these lies about me, my best revenge is me continuing to be who I say I am, because every lie that they're going to tell or talk about me is coming from their own negative self-thought and how they feel. So they're going to go and plant a seed about you to that next person. But guess what? That next person gets to meet me in real life because you made me sound so interesting. They need to come find me on TikTok, YouTube, wherever it is, and they need to listen to my lesson. And then they realize that she is the real deal. You the problem. I don't have to prove myself to anyone. And I'm going to put this right here. I need you to understand. See, I just did a podcast. It will be out today. Today is Thursday. It's the last episode of the God's Plan Leadership Through the Book of Daniel. My podcast is Chat with Coach Nye. Go check it out. Listen. And I was talking about in chapter 6, the lion den, right? How they set up a whole plot behind Daniel's back. They said, oh, you know what? We cannot. The enemy, they had to come in as groups. But you know what? Before they came in as a group, right? He is a part of that group. He's a part of the administrator. He is a part of that. But the problem is he's ahead of them. He's favored higher than them. So they came together without him, came up with a plot, went to the king and was like, hey, this is what we should do, because they knew that the king, and this is what the enemy knows, the weakness of the king, that he was very prideful and ego, that he knew all he had to say is worship you, worship you. That's it. Now you got to remember, he understands that Daniel God is ahead of him, but he don't put anybody else ahead of him. Not even his own God, that his own lowercase g God. He don't put him ahead of him. He put him as equal. He's equal to that God, but he know for sure he's not equal to that God. But when the enemy come in and drop a thought, right? That's all the enemy do is just drop a thought. He planted that seed and they said, worship you. He immediately forgot all about Daniel and Daniel's God. He forgot about all that. See, Daniel understood once it went into effect that they plotted behind my back. That was an attack against me. And you don't have to tell me that it is an attack against me. You don't have to come out your mouth and say, oh, that wasn't about you. You don't have to do anything. I already know, because the discernment is I'm a part of that team. And when you're a part of that administrative group, right, they can't vote on anything or talk about anything without the group. He was not included, and he is the highest ranking of all of them in there anyway. So it was automatic. He don't have to hear the whole story. It was automatic. I wasn't invited to the meeting, so I know it was an attack against me. But instead of him getting mad, instead of him going to them, he continued to do what he needed to do. And that's the consistency in leadership, right? Knowing who you are. I don't have to prove anything to anybody, because what Daniel said is, I am who I say I am. I am the child of God. I understand who my father is, and I know what I'm doing. I know I can interpret dreams. I know I have a prophetic calling on me. I know who I am, and I know who my God is. So it doesn't matter what you got going on. It doesn't matter even what you do. I am who I say I am. Even though the plot was against him because he prayed 3 times a day, guess what he did? Went and prayed 3 times a day. Because the kick would have been if he would have not prayed 3 times a day. In the physical, right then and there, then they would have smacked his enemies in the face and said, now this would have been Daniel. If he did not, and he abided by that law that they had put out, and he did not go up to his God and do what he was supposed to do, and he went with what they God did, yes, they would have smacked them in the face like, dang, we can't get this dude on nothing. But they would have gave them the one up, because Daniel took matters into his own hand. If he would have done that, that means he'd have been taking revenge on himself just to smack him in the face, but they would have been able to say, you are not who you say you are. Do you understand? It's more important for me to be who I say I am, because I'm being my true, authentic self. So therefore, he knew that it's coming up against him, and they knew that he was going to pray because he is who he say he is. So that's why he got thrown into the lion's den, not because he did something wrong. It was because he did everything right, but that was God's plan in the first place. So God had the revenge on him, even though he's being walked down, even though he's being belittled, even though he's put in the lion's king by the king that loved him so much, even though the door is shut and it is sealed by the ring of him, it is sealed and it is done, even though he know these lions can tear him apart, even though all these things in the physical said, this is the end for me, Daniel did not shake, because I am who I say I am. He knew God was going to show up and show out. See, he didn't get out of character trying to get ahead to fight, right? He didn't do any of that. He stayed right there and went through the process. Because he is who he say he is. He is not looking for approval from someone. He didn't try to fit in, because then he lost himself. Same way with you. You didn't try and fit in. You have to know in the mix of everything that's going on in your life, God is about to show up. God is fighting the battle. Go through the process. Same way with test. Get the testing out of your head. Stop saying, God, I don't want another test. Stop talking about tests. It ain't no such thing as tests. They are life lessons. You change the way you think, it will change the way you operate. Meaning that when you come up against something, it has nothing to do with you. It's not a test. It's your job. You've been resting all this time. So you've been going to your physical 9 to 5. You've been sitting around here talking to everybody else in the physical realm of what working is. But in the spiritual realm, you rest. You rest until God calls you. When God calls you and puts you in that uncomfortable situation, you got to know that, I'm at work. I got to go through the process. Yep. Okay. You can easily go through the process when you don't label it what the physical world call it. You have to look at it in the spiritual realm. You are operating in purpose. Whatever is happening, it needs to happen because God needs to show up. He can't show the glory. People think when they say it got to be God's glory that it's like we got to praise, us praising him. No, it's showing who he is. And through Daniel, he showed who he was by shutting the lion's mouth. Daniel was in an uncomfortable situation that most people will call a test. Daniel was working. He was in purpose. In an uncomfortable situation, God is omnipresent in everything. He shut the lion's mouth. I am the lion. How can you feed me what I made? How can you feed me what I created? How can you feed me something that I got doing my job? The job is so you can see who I am through him. And when Nebuchadnezzar came back, shaking, Daniel, did the God you serve save you? It was crickets. Then Daniel, yes, I'm here. First off, he starts off, the king lives forever. He starts off by greeting the king the way the king needed to be greeted to make him feel good about himself, to get his attention. Because if he would have said, a king, or yes, he did, it wouldn't have got his attention because that king is operating in pride. Pride has to be triggered because God has to show you something. So in that moment, what he showed him was, the king lives forever. Okay, speaking my language. So you alive? Yes. God sent the angels to shut the lion's mouth. And he ended it with, your majesty. He didn't go in, you old 304 ninja, you came at me like this, He didn't do all that. He didn't say, yeah. He didn't get disrespectful like, yeah, I'm still here. He didn't do any of that. He said the king lives forever. Yes, God sent the angels to shut the lion's mouth. Your majesty. Ended it with your majesty because he understands this has nothing to do with him. I'm at work. Because in the moment, if he would have disrespected, God's glory would not be seen. In the end, wrapping it all up, what the king did was, he said, okay, because the plot became revealed to him, he knew when he messed up, when they said, okay, good, everything is into law, and then they came to him and said, hey, didn't you say nobody can worship anybody and do all this stuff unless it's you? He was like, yep, that's me. And they was like, well, Daniel, that's when he realized, oh man, I done messed up. I forgot all about Daniel. But it was supposed to be that way. He was supposed to forget about Daniel. That's when the enemy entered the chat. Because all the enemy did was plant a seed for them to make him feel his ego. Anyway, that's a long story. If y'all want to listen to the rest, how I broke it down, y'all go check it out on my podcast, Chat with Coach Nye. Boom. The point that I'm trying to make is you don't live for approval. You will lose yourself. Daniel never lost himself because he understood who he was, right? He understood that he had to go to the process. It's not a test. Stop looking at it as a test. No test. These are lessons learned. You are being called to work and look at it that way. You change the way you think, right? You have to rewire your brain. So in order to do that, you start to what? Losing yourself. You start to what? Ignore your own desires. You silence your own voice. You shrink your personalities. You stay in places you've outgrown. You avoid growth to stay comfortable for others. When you live for approval, you lose yourself. You start to ignore your own desires. Let me tell you what that looked like. When y'all say, I just don't want to work no more. I just want to open my own business. I just want to. And then everybody else is like, man, I'm making this money. You stupid if you do that. I could never. Thank you so much for the follow, Amit. Listen, I could never. Or you silence your own voice because you're not talking nonsense. See, I never was able to sit at the table when, when women get at the table and they start bashing men and talking about men and how they running and they hustling and if they can't do this, I never had a voice at the table. I would always just sit quietly because how dare I tell them y'all sound stupid? How dare I say that? Because of what they gonna say, that's why you can't keep a man. And my whole thing is, what's my combat? But say that to me now, because I'm going to give you a combat. I don't need a man to acknowledge who I am for my self-worth. Now, granted, we all want our other half, right? I do want to find what rib did I come from. God, bring me that person so I can be his rib. You don't understand? But I don't have to have one to feel justified of I got a man. So I can sit at the table with you and say what he bought me and what he ain't going to do and what he did. And I ain't going for that. And I ain't got to do all that because that's not what makes me a woman. I remember they told me, girl, you just need to get you a old man or an old white man. Or girl, I am an old white man. I am a man. Get out my face. I am a table that can seat a table of 12. Do you understand? That's how God blessed me, that I can do things for myself. It does not mean that I don't need a man. It just means that God bless me that I can take care of myself until the one that he has for me has went through the healing process. Or maybe I need to finish the healing process. Maybe I need to heal. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's me. Maybe I need to wait a minute. Maybe that's what it is. Right? So I had to learn to shut up, but I would shrink my personality because I felt like I just can't sit at this table. So I stayed in places that I've outgrown. I've outgrown the hood a long time ago. You know, when I left to join the military, that's when I realized that, dang, that was really the hood. Y'all sending me to Iraq, baby. I'm okay because I came from Gary, Indiana when it was at its worst. So Iraq don't scare me. Let's go. So, and avoid growth to stay comfortable with others. That was me. I'd rather be comfortable than to shake the table. So you cannot become who you were meant to be while trying to be accepted by everybody else. Thank you, pretty wife. I can't become who God called me to be if I'm still worrying about, okay, what people going to think of me. Baby, combined service, I had over 26 years of government service. And yes, soon as Mr. Rain Man, Mr. Orange Guy came in and said he going to take over the government, baby, okay, well, it's time for me to go. I walked out, did my thing. They gave the different exit strategies and I just went. Because I realized I don't care how long I've been working. And yes, I made a pretty penny with the government. Yes, I did. However, the freedom that I have now to live the way that I want to, I can speak freely when I talk to you guys. I can tell you my testimony without being able to. And it wasn't until then, right, that I stopped working, that I was able to be honest. That's when I started growing because now I can be my true authentic self. I'm not trying to fit in nowhere. A lot of people, they like, man, I ain't leaving. Well, stay. You don't have to prove to me why you're not leaving. Stay. But you're not going to convince me to stay. It does not align with my values and my morals. I'm healing and trying to be better. If I stay here, I'm going to start cussing, fussing, beating everybody up, getting mad, probably get fired. I don't know. Because you can't tell me what to do. I don't care if you're the richest man in the world. I don't care if you from wherever the other one from, South Africa. I don't care what it is. You can't come in here and tell me what to do. It's impossible. It ain't going to happen. But that's me. Don't do what Coach Nine do. Do what God told you to do. So me and God had a conversation, but I already knew my time was coming. He already told me I was going to stop working. I just didn't know when, but I know my cues. This type of behavior I would never tolerate. So I knew that was my cue. You'll know when God tells you to make a move. You'll just know. Okay? So you were not created to be approved by everyone. You were created to be yourself. Now, as I told you guys, we've been talking about, this is where you live. In this body is where you live. You live here every day, right? Every day. You live in this body every day. In your mind. Your thoughts live in your mind every day. It just is what it is. That's where it lives, right? So this is who I am. So in order for my mind, what God created me to have, my thoughts and, my values, my morals, to change, I have to change the filter. Changing the filter mean that I have to switch to low vibration and take the higher vibration, take that filter out. I got to change the grid of the filter in order for me to sit with nonsense. So I'm filtering in nonsense every day, which is filtering out everything that God has for me. That's what happens. So when you want to be approved by everyone. And then you'll go to this table. Same thing. Change the filter. Now that filter, they was talking about man bashing over here. They talking about brokey. Okay, change the filter. Do you understand? That's a lot of work. That takes time to rewire your brain, right? If to rewire it to another setting, it takes time because you have to identify things that need to change. So if you're choosing to stay stuck, a lot of people are like, I feel stuck. I just feel so stuck. You're stuck because of the fact the filters you are changing. It's all the same energy, different person. And you're in the loop. It's when you decide to rewire your brain to a high vibration. That's when things change. So you don't need everyone to understand your journey. No, not everyone will understand your goals, your growth, your decisions, your boundaries, your discipline, or your change. No one will understand it, baby. Like I told you, I am confusing the enemy right now because the enemy is like, who are you? Who are you? I don't. Jesus, I know. But who are you? Because I am not who they said I was. I am who I say I am. Even all those years I would say, I'm not that type of, I would try and prove to them, I'm not mean, I'm not that type of person. I would try and prove to them and they kept trying to. Do you understand when I think back on things when I was trying to prove myself, that somewhere in that conversation at one point in their mind, they're getting tickled and fueled off a constant, and they're getting fueled off of constantly trying to make me look like the bad person because they know eventually I'm about to cry. They know eventually I'm about to, and then therefore they can suck off of that and say, I mean, I'm just saying that's what it come off with. That's what it's like. What up, little bit of lie? Hey, lady. That's what it, that's what they'll say. That's what's going on in their head. And the whole time you are really hurting. Morning, baby. Listen. So now that I'm healed, I'm like, okay. People really played on my top. And my top mean here. Because this is where I start changing the way that they said I was this way, which I was never that way. I changed from who I say I am to who you say I am. So therefore you won't think that I'm a bad person. What you did was made me tone myself down, dumb myself down, belittle myself. So therefore you can be comfortable in the presence of me. What do I mean by that? If God is within me, so you can feel you can feel comfortable in the presence of God. That's what you needed. You needed God out so you can feel present, comfortable in my presence. Do you understand? And I changed myself, but I learned some things. I learned things about myself that instead of saying they, I started saying, okay, me, why did I change myself? Why was I so hurt when they said that I was a bad person? Why was this? Why was that? For me, self-reflection. Because people are going to mistreat you. They're going to mistreat you. They're going to talk about you. They're going to do all these things. That's just what they do. The enemy is always going to do his job. I tell y'all that. No matter what you do, the enemy is going to do his job. You are the problem. You stop doing your job to address everything that the enemy is doing. Thank you, Carl. So I had to learn that, okay, it's not about me. It's not about me. Everything that's happening is about the attack on God, not me. So once I realized that I don't need everyone to understand my changes, discipline, boundaries, decisions, growth, goals. I don't need everybody to think. Thank you, Keisha. Some people only understand the version of you they're used to. Like I get the, well, I remember when we was in high school, boy, I remember you was off track. I would have thought, I would have this, I would have that, you was, man, I don't know. Man. And then they hit my inbox like, man, I'm so proud of you. Now, this is what I take from that. It's kind of like an achievement, not even an achievement. The what is the award called? The Most Improvement Award. Right? Thank y'all. The Most Improvement Award. That's how I look at it. Like you had no faith in me. You never got a chance to get to know me. We said we was friends in school, but you never got a chance to you never really knew me. You never even really cared, because a person that knew me back then, the ones that really know me, this is what they would say. I know, I knew it. Or no. They would say, I am so proud that you finally be who you are, that people get to know you like I know you. I'm so glad that you finally showing people who I've always went to bat for you. I've always told people like, no, I know Naisha messing up, but that ain't who she really is. She got a good heart. She got a good heart, right? Man, because I have some people that rooted for me in that way. They would fight for me, and every chance I proved them wrong by going to jail. See, this is why I say I will never go back to working for anybody, because then I can't be my true authentic self and tell my story. Fighting, getting kicked out of school, going to all these things when I was in school and all this, and I wouldn't graduate, and I didn't graduate. I did not. But it was somebody that knew me well enough that said, I believe in you. I don't care what she did. She is a good person. She's a product of her environment. So now when they see me, they like, I am so glad that you finally, because do you know how many liars they done called me? Because you kept proving me wrong when I know it was. Those are the ones. I don't want to hear from the ones that, wow, I can't believe. Wow. No, you can't believe, because the way you narrated my life, the way you predicted my life to be, the way you see me, you never got to know me for who I truly was. You see how the healed version of me can break that down versus the survival mode of me. They say that I am so proud of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being proud of me. Man, you came a long way. Yeah, I know. On my face. I just happened to be not who you said I was, and I stepped into who I've always been and who God called me to be. So when I say identify how the enemy show up, we talked about that yesterday. We identify how the enemy show up. Sometimes the enemy will show up when you build your boundaries and you like, listen, I don't want no more fake people around me. I don't want no more drama. I don't want no more mess. The enemy will, clean it up. Clean them up and say, thank you so much for the follow. Clean them up and give you the illusion, right? Make it nice, nasty, or make it nice. Seem like this is a good thing, but it's not. And then he bring the ones in. Man, I remember when you came a long way. Man, I can't believe. And you take them in and you like, yes. Baby, no, they want to attach to you. Move them, detach. No more leeches. No more nothing. Detach. That's not a compliment. Man, you came a long way. Ain't a compliment. I just came further than you. See, you've seen yourself in my shoes as being that successful. No. I've succeeded, all of you. The one, they say they got away, but no, the one that you look down on, the one that wasn't at the graduation ceremony, the one that didn't get to go to the prom, though I wasn't going to the prom, no way. The one that didn't go to the graduation parties, didn't get the different things. The one that didn't go off to college, at the time the child went off. See, I was a late bloomer. See, it was something about me. See, my route was a little bit different. I went to the military, and through the military, I ended up going to college. And through there, I ended up working for the government and being successful in everything that I did. And it's there where I found my voice when I said, you know what, my time has come. See, when God tells you he's going to do something, God has shown me even as a kid that I would be successful, and he kept showing me nations, and I didn't understand what nations meant. Like, I understood nations, but God, what am I going to be like? Mother Teresa? Am I going to be like Jesus? Like, what am I going to be like? Right? And I'm just like, okay, but I didn't understand it because I was young. But now, see, my time hadn't come yet. See, things haven't developed yet. See, I'm an 80s baby. Things hadn't developed yet. And in those times of development, I mean social media and different things like that. So all these years I've been going through, and I've been shrinking myself and staying quiet. It just wasn't my time yet, until finally, see, now I can meet nations. I can teach nations. It wasn't about what the physical world said, that I have to have a mic and on a global stage. This is a global stage. The problem is a lot of people miss their God-blessed opportunities because they're looking at it to look like something else. They're looking at it to be like the next T.D. Jakes. They're looking at it to be like the next pastor that everybody knows. They're looking at it to have this many followers when all it is something simple, just like that. See, the greatest thing that ever happened to this world rode in on a donkey. But everything that he stood for and what he was here for was bigger and still talked about to this day. but it started with a donkey. Okay? So we're not looking for people to understand us. So let's look at some more. Some people only understand the version of you that they're used to. So when you change, they question you, right? They doubt you. They misunderstand you. They may even criticize you. When I first started going through the social media, I was worried about, good morning, DJ. I was worried about what people would say. I was worried about how people would feel. I was worried about what the next step looked like. I was worried about the doubt. And it was me. Let me tell you, I told you yesterday, the only thing that can affect you is not the people. The enemy shows up. The enemy shows up as a thought. A thought. That's it, the seed. You have good soil up here. Okay? This is your garden. This is the good soil, right? Everything here is good. But when you leave the gate open, what I mean is, you know how they put the wire fence so the rabbits can't get in or the deers can't get in or all these different things. See, that's your hedge of God, right? But the moment that you lift it with doubt, because that's what the enemy plant, a seed of doubt. That's it. And then he go on to the next person. He's not there to stay. He don't have to make sure it get watered. He don't have to do any of that because he can't water the seed. You have to water it. Anything that happened here, you live in this body every day. And in this mind is where your thoughts live every day. So it's up to you to water what's in it. So when he throw that doubt in there, what are you going to do? You're going to run to tarot. You're going to run to this person. You're going to run to somebody to tell you. You're going to run somewhere and ask them, is this it? Is this it? Is this the end? Is this what it's supposed to be? And then you start watering it by researching. Let me Google this. Let me do this. And then it becomes so, and then it grows. So no, I couldn't do that. So that's why I became successful. Thank you, Zion. I became successful in this, right? I became successful in this. And that's why I'm growing now. Like, all my social media is just growing. I'm grateful and thankful. I told you, the ones that know me, y'all know I get emotional because I'm very grateful, right? And so I sit in it because I don't allow I'm not watering anything that you tell me. Why would I listen to you? You're not me. You don't live in this body and you don't house my thoughts. So why am I listening to you, somebody that I don't even want to be like? So when you change, that's when they start questioning you. But that doesn't mean you're wrong. It means you are growing beyond what they are familiar with. Now, how was you the most successful in high school, but yet the girl that, dropped out has succeeded you? Yes, that means that what? You've growing beyond what they are familiar with. You succeeded them. Thank you, Natasha. So let's get into the next one. You don't need, this is what you don't need. Let's start here. Everyone to agree. I don't need you to agree with me to prove that I'm right. No, that is a self-sabotaging, but yet a toxic survival mode mindset. Well, stay here, Tasha. I'm sorry, I'm spitting. Stay here, Natasha. So needing everyone to agree with you. When you say something and no one agrees with you, let me explain to you why no one agrees with you. Because they don't. You finally speak up. Y'all in the group, I know it happened to y'all because it happened to me all the time. I'm always the leader of the speak up. So y'all in the group and everybody whispering. One thing I can't stand is a man whispering. If you are a grown man and you coming to me whispering, baby, it's the wrong thing to do because I'm not everything about that is wrong. Gossiping, I have everything because you're a grown man. You supposed to be protecting me, but yet you sitting here whispering about the boss. You don't get out my face. So everybody come together for a whisper. Now it's time for the meeting. Now, am I speaking up for the group or am I speaking up for me? That's where you have to decide. Because when you speak up for yourself, you don't care if don't nobody agree with you. But when you're speaking up for the group, now you're frustrated because guess what? They're all going to sink. They're all going to sink just like this until maybe the boss agree with you. Like, you know what? You're right. Let me look into that. Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. That's why you have to learn to speak up for yourself. Speaking up for yourself is helping the others. Because when you speak up for yourself, it opens doors for them to walk through. It is not for you to speak up for them. Because when you speak up for them, say for instance, they getting overlooked for a promotion. They ain't complaining, but you asking about it for them. Now, They get promoted. They're never going to come to you and say, man, thank you for that. They're going to say, man, yeah, because they knew I needed it. Do you understand? Because you're looking for validation from other people. Screw them people. You only need clarity within yourself, confidence in your direction, and commitment to your growth. That's it, and that's all. Growth often requires you to move without explanation. Baby, I'm not explaining nothing no more. That's it, and that is all. I said what I said. You don't like it. You can talk about me. You can call me crazy. You can call me whatever you want to call me. You can say I'm this. You can say, I don't care. I don't care. Because the moment that I care, that means I'm allowing y'all to plant a seed. It doesn't show up right then and there. It doesn't manifest right then and there. It manifests when I get home. And when I get home, that's when I start thinking about it again. Did that happen? Why did that happen? The anxiety, the this, the that. No, that is part of survival mode. That is toxic traits. Now, if I feel that myself, I'm unregulated. See, those butterflies, it's different. It hits differently when you're healed versus when survival mode. When survival mode, the butterflies, you anxious, anxiety kicks in, depression kicks in, anger kicks in, all these different emotions attached to those feelings. In a healed version, you understand that your nervous system is your discernment. This is the way God speaks to you. So if this is unsettled and I feel a type of way, hold on, I have to step back. This is not my energy. This is not my energy. I don't go, I send it back to every dimension. I send it back to the person that sent it to me. I rescind. I'm not doing that either, because then I become just as trifling as they is for them to send me some nonsense, and I'm sending it back. God is not pleased about that. I deaden that right then and there. It is not mine. First thing I acknowledge, this is not my energy. What do I do next? I release it. It's the RPI. I teach y'all the RPI every day. I release it. And what am I going to do now? I'm going to practice what I know I should be doing. Either I can rebuke it. I rebuke you right now in the mighty name of Jesus. And you know what? And I send you off to dry places. I cast you in the pit of hell. And if you're not allowed there, I send you to dry places so you can't attach to anyone else. Get it up off me, right? And I practice. Either I pray, rebuke it, whatever it is that I need to do. What I'm not going to do is I send it back to every sender, and I send it back to the sender, because what's about to happen is it got the ping pong. It has to go somewhere. It is not yours. This is where my thoughts live. You can't live here. This is where I live every day. You can't live here. So I have to detach you. That energy has to go back to someone. It's an automatic that it goes back to where it came from. I don't have to force it to go back. The enemy he will dress up anything in any type of way. Let me explain to you how. He'll do the whole thing of, for you to sit back and say, I send you back to the sender. Because now what he did was, added you along in the nonsense. What that look like when you sitting at the table and they gossiping and you say nothing, and then they tell a conversation and they say what? Well, me, such and such, a coach, now we was all just sitting there, but you never said nothing. How I get in this? The same way with the enemy. If he can get you attached to it little bit by little bit, meaning that you're sending it back to someone, meaning that you're sending it back with intentions of hurting them the way that they hurt you. You see how the enemy will make things look like it's so innocent, but it's still just as bad? You identify as not. So after you practice, this is the RPI: acknowledge, release, practice, inner explore, self-reflection. Why was that energy on me? What happened today? That conversation was ended there. Oh, okay. I didn't process it right. Oh, okay. Let me process it right. And then empower myself, because I just did a good thing. You did not fall victim for that. You did an amazing job. And if I did fail at something, that's okay. I'm human. I can make mistakes. People make mistakes. It is not who I am. It is not my DNA. It is not who I am. It's what I did, and it can be fixed. That's why I created the RPI, so you can check and balance yourself. So if you're looking for a reference card for that, you can go to my website, tofbootcamp.com, go to my shop, download it for free, right? Or you can look under my blogs under my website, and you can see that I posted some things there. You can download some workbooks I posted there as well. So that's how that goes. No, listen. Clarity with yourself, confidence in your direction, commitment to your growth. Growth often requires you to move without explanation. Now, you don't need permission to grow. A lot of people are waiting for what? Approval, support, validation, encouragement, a yes from others. A yes from others. I always say, and I always get emotional when I talk about the woman, the young lady I was before I became the woman I am today. She really just wanted a friend, love. You know, she needed the things that she lacked and didn't get, right? She needed guidance, someone to just be there. She needed a yes. Sometimes we look for validation in other people because it starts in the household when your parents never validated the things that you did. Even though as a child, what you processed is, I'm not good enough. But the reality is, your mom worked. She had a lot of jobs. The last thing she think about sometimes is rewarding the things that she know that you're good at, right? You bring home a good report card. She's like, okay, good job, right? You bring home a bad report card, start cussing you out. And the reason that is because she know who you are. Now you're changing it up. It's just sometimes we forget as parents. Like with my sons, I had to pull them to the side. Like, listen, lately I have not been, praising y'all accomplishments and things like that. And it's not that I don't see them. It's just that sometimes I get so focused and busy with work. And I'm so thankful and grateful to y'all that y'all are doing what you're supposed to be doing without me telling you. Like, I can trust y'all knowing that you're doing good in school. I don't even ask for my kids' report card because I know they did it, right? But that's not a good thing either, because I need to validate them so they won't grow up looking for validation from someone else. So I always have to take time to step away. As a single mom, this is the thing. It's two of them, it's one of me, and I got the world on my shoulders. I'm starting my business. This is my business. And I'm learning how to, thank you, Ram. I'm learning this business as I go. I'm not a business person. I've been working, for someone all my life. So now, majority of my life, you know what I'm saying? But now it's like I'm doing this and I'm building brick by myself. So I'm learning from mistakes. I'm learning from hiccups. I'm learning that I create my own content, do my own editing, do everything. I got listen, follow me, you'll understand. And people think that I have a team. It's just me, right? And I still make sure that I do dinner every night with my boys. I still make sure I'm doing things, but some things I miss and I lack because of I'm trying to get it all done. So I always pull them to the side. But one thing about them, because I always had a conversation with them. I told you I get emotional about stuff. I always have a conversation with my kids. Even when they were little kids, I would have a conversation with them. I didn't do no baby talk. We sat down and I got on their level because you did that for a reason and it made sense to you. Now I need you to make it make sense to me. Okay? Because I don't want you to be punished for something thinking like, oh, you so bad and you so bad, versus you really just misunderstood. So we always had conversation, and it was times that, I was always cussing, fussing because the world was frustrating me, right? But I had to learn how not to put the world on my kids and learn how to balance this. But I didn't learn how to balance it until I was in my 40s. And baby, they in middle school and everything else. And what I'm saying by that is I had to heal. I didn't understand what healing was. I just didn't understand what that meant. So now I understand what that means. And baby, if I had an older me when I was younger, a younger woman raising my kids. And that's why I make it a point to teach. I said I'm the coach that's going to save the world. How do I save the world? By teaching you how to heal. And I'm making a point to teach you guys how to heal and the importance of it. Because I didn't have a me, but you have a me. And I'm going to make sure that everywhere you meet me at, you're going to get some kind of teaching, okay? That's right. So I stopped looking at that. So a lot of people are waiting for, like I said, the approval, the validation. Thank you, and a yes from others. They do all this before they start something, before they change their life, set boundaries, walk away, speak up, invest in themselves. Let me give you some examples of that. Start something. Before I start a business, I need to bring it to the table. What y'all think about this? No, we're not doing that. Before I change my life, I'm going on a healthier eating. I'm about to eat healthier. I'm about to start working out. I'm about to do all that. And then guess what? The enemy like, yes, I'm so glad you brought it to the table. This is why they say, keep your mouth shut. Don't tell the enemy what your next plan is. Yeah, I understand that, but that is a piece of survival mode, right? Let me tell you from a healed version. It's not about speaking it out loud. It's about keeping your gate closed. Because now that I came to the table with you guys and told you I'm about to start eating healthy, I'm about to start doing better, I'm about to save money, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that, the enemy, because my gate is open, planted a seed of a thought. It's a thought. It's just a thought. The thought is when they say, yeah, right, you ain't gonna never do that. Or remember last time when you did that? And then now the thought has something else because you introduced something to your brain, right, that it had never done before. So now instead of your brain going to, yeah, right, we ain't going to do it. Now it has something else to balance to give you that conviction when you don't do it. But when the enemy plant that seed, now what the enemy just did was you changed the filter. You took the filter of the new thought out and put the filter of the enemy, which was that seed. And now your brain only has things to bounce off of. And this is how it's going to go. Whew. Okay. Cheeseburger, salad. Right? Your brain like cheeseburger. Because it got lettuce in it. You right. Coke, Diet Coke. It's Coke, same thing. They both got the same amount of sugar. You right. Okay. And then what will happen? Your mind will then revert to, you can eat that stuff. Just don't eat so much of it. Okay, I got a Big Mac, so I'm going to take out the middle piece of bread. Boom. I'm learning. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. It's not so much of telling your enemy the next plan. It's about being healed means that you are so strong in your purpose, knowing what you need to do, that you understand what your thoughts is and what the thoughts of the enemy is. You have the discernment. You're self-regulated to know when God tell you to make a move and make them, because people are going to come up against it. They may do witchcraft. They may do all of those things. Let me tell you something. The enemy can sit right next to me. He can do whatever he wants, but it's not going to land because I am who I say I am. The moment that I start listening to him and looking at, wait a minute, the self-doubt, when I start getting those feelings, self-doubt and things, this is not my energy. It's the same way like this. Look at it like this. Like I have someone around me that I know is pregnant. I get pregnancy sick symptoms, right? I'm like, okay. I don't go around no more and say, who, you pregnant? I just wait for them to tell me, right? It's just what it is. I know when death is going to come in the family because that person will visit me in my dreams. Or, I have my different cues. Okay, cool. All right. So the same way I feel I'm having an okay day and I'm here and all of a sudden I'm overwhelmed with this feeling. This is not my energy. No, you can't plant a seed here. Only way that seed will grow is if I water it by acknowledging it and taking it on as my own and say these words. All of a sudden these feelings, man, I just feel like I'm just depressed. But everything's going good. So how do you just say, I feel depressed? Now guess what happens? That's all the enemy needed to do, because now the roots are going to grow from it. The roots and the branches and the leaves and everything, which leads to just lay in the bed, go lay down, start crying, get emotional. That's how that happens. No, not at all. Thank y'all for the likes, shares, and the follows, okay? But here's the truth. No one is coming to give you permission to become your next level self. You have to do it. What do you choose? So you don't need permission to heal. You don't need it to grow, change, improve, rest, evolve, learn, do better. You don't need someone to say it's okay for you to grow now. You decide that. Growth is a personal decision, not a group decision. What do you choose? Now let's talk about this rest. Now my podcast, Chat with Coach, and I go check it out. It's on all platforms. I mean, all of them. iHeart, Amazon, all of them. So listen, when it says it's okay for you not to grow, you don't need people to tell you that, but the rest part, you don't need permission to rest. Let's talk about rest real quick. And then I'm going to get back on topic. Rest is not what you think it is. The survival mode said rest is you need to get some rest. I mean, lay down, go to sleep, sleep as long as you want. That's not what rest is. Okay. This is why when you go to sleep and do all that and you still tired, because that's not what rest is. Rest is disconnecting from the world, right? Right? We live in this world, but we're not of this world. We have to disconnect from it. And when we disconnect from it, now we have to shut our brain down, because what happened is your garden has been overseeded. And when something is overseeded, it's even with your grass. When you overseed your grass, some people get lush grass, or if you don't get the right kind of grass, that other grass can choke out the original grass, or it could just choke the grass out, which causes it to die. Now you're like, I put out all these grass seeds and they dead. Or the birds will come eat them up before then. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, overseeding is not good unless you have the experience to deal with it. Meaning that the enemy, sometimes we need to disconnect from the world and rest because the enemy will overseed our mind, right? And we don't have the experience to deal with it. Meaning that we are not healed. We don't know where to go, which way to turn, who to go to, or anything to go to. So we need to learn to disconnect, because once you disconnect, that gives you a chance for God to speak to you, to tell you what is yours and what is not yours. It gives God time to send the birds in to eat all of the extra overseeded seeds that the enemy planted. But you can't do that if you're constantly operating, meaning that now I'm going to do this. Now you got some more seeds over on this side. You're so overseeded that it seems like there's no saving you. You know, when you feel like, man, God ain't going to never fix this. I'm just too far gone. No, you're just overly seeded. And God can fix it, but he needs you to sit still. Stillness is rest. There is no thinking, and there's no, trying to process. There's none of that. All it is purging. And he needs you to purge. See, what happens when a storm comes and you put the seeds out and you overseed, but a storm comes? I'm talking about pouring down rain. It comes. It'll scatter those seeds. Right? Some of them are just wash it away. The same way with God. The enemy will come. He gave us everything we need in here. See, I told you, this is your body. This is where you live every day. This is where your thoughts live every day. He gave us everything that we need to cleanse ourselves, because when it's overpopulated, when it's overseeded, guess what he taught us? He said in Jeremiah, women, teach your daughters how to weep. Even Jesus wept. See, weeping is not a thing of crying. Let me explain to you what weeping is going to do. Weeping is going to be just like that storm that's going to wash those seas away, because of the fact that's what the heart is saying. Weeping is speaking to God when you have no words. Weeping is saying what it is that you feel. Weeping is identifying the direct problem and communicating with God and saying, this is it. This is what the problem is. This is it right here. It ain't I don't know what I'm going to do. God, I need money for this. I need a car. God is talking about the root. See, in order for him to snatch the weeds out and everything that the enemy grew, he has to get to the root of it. And getting into the root of it, that's when you have to learn how to communicate with God. So a lot of the times when you rest, you need to purge. You need to weep. You need to get it out of you. God give us everything that we need. Listen, and I want to put this, because this just hit me before I forget. I don't know. It just came. Listen, every day God fed them with bread from heaven. We know that, right? Fed them with bread from heaven. But his only instructions to them was, you can't take it to the next day. You cannot take it to the next day. Every day I'm going to feed you, but you can't take it to the next day. And that's what happened to a lot of us. God feed us. We pray. We ask for a thing, right? We ask to be delivered from that thing. Then we drop it. We give it to him. And then the next day we take it over. And in that moment, we don't pray again, because we think the prayer from yesterday is covering us today. And what's happening with that bread, every time somebody tried to sneak and bring it over to the next day, they had all type of stuff. They had worms. It was rotten. It was all type of things that happened. See, what manifested in that bread for the next day was hell, was sickness, was illness. Things that can kill, kill you. Things that is not of God was coming. That's what that bread turned into, because you were trying to take the past into the present. This is the next day. So the same way, when you go to God, you pray, you ask him for healing, you ask him to show you the way. You cannot go into the future living how you were living in the past. So in the past, that is it. That is done. This is why healing stops a lot of you guys right here, and you get into the void, because you don't know how to get over here. You don't know what it feels like to be over here, because you were so used to being over here. So in the mix of that, I just had to put that out there. I just had to put it out there. Okay? So whoever got it, got it. Don't take yesterday into tomorrow, Because when you bring that over there, you bring it in sickness, you bring it in illness, no, you have to come over every day. God is going to feed you. Every day you do your prayer. Every day you read your Bible. Every day, the same thing that you did yesterday to get you into the present, you're going to leave yesterday alone. You're going to start over new. Constant communication, constant going. So let me get back on topic, okay? So back to, no one is coming to give you permission to become the next level self. And we talked about growth is a personal decision, not a group decision, okay? Listen, I'm trying to tell you, it was a word. It hit me. I said, I got to say it. So approval from others will keep you stuck. That's what happened. Thank y'all so much for the likes, shares, and the follows. Thank y'all so much for the gifts. Thank y'all. Approval from others will keep you stuck. We just talked about being stuck. When you rely on other people's approval, guess what you'll start doing? Second guessing yourself. Why? Because you changed the filter. Right? The seed of doubt. You delay decisions because this is another one that a lot of people do. I'm just waiting on God. I'm just waiting on God clarity. I'm waiting on God. Meanwhile, Coach Nye is over here steady, excelling and going and going and going. Because you're worried about making the wrong step. How can you make the wrong step if God is guiding your footsteps? Well, I didn't hear from him. Well, you're not going to hear from him. Do you understand? Listen, if you don't hear from God, look at it as a good thing. Let's look at it like that. Stop looking at it as a negative thing. Let's look at it as a good thing. That means that God trusts you now, that if you make a step, right, that you're going to make the right step. But if you don't, he trusts that when he tap you on the shoulder and say, nope, you're going to say, oh, okay, that's wrong. You right. You know what I mean? So you're too busy waiting on him to tell you to go. He's never going to tell you go. He's never going to come and whisper and say, no, but the enemy will. Let me tell you what, God's voice is soft. But the enemy, that's that inner child that's loud. So when that loudness say, go, you do it and then you mess up. You're like, no, what? God, I thought you told me. No, that was the inner you. That was you. That was the inner child in you. Getting excited. You don't know God's voice. And then I always tell people, if God tell you to, listen, if you do decide to step out on faith, there's no such thing as a wrong decision. But nobody want to take my word for it. I mean, I'm a living testimony. Nobody want to take my word for it. There's no such thing as a bad decision. Why? Because it's not about the decision you make. It's about what do you do when you make that decision. Here's what I'm saying. You decided to go right. You realize right was the wrong step. You got two ways. You can keep going right and figure it out, or you can just turn around, admit that you were wrong and go back the other way. It's what do you do when you make that decision? Do you go right and you realize you made a wrong turn and say, oh my God, I messed up my life. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I'm such. Is that what you do? Well, yeah, you made the wrong decision. Because you shouldn't have made any moves if you was going to self-doubt yourself the whole way there. We are designed by survival mode to look for the failure in everything. That's it. Change the way you see it and start looking for the greatness in everything. Therefore, you're going to look past the failure. Because if I look at the greatness, how can I see failure? Just like yesterday I taught you. Thank you so much, Vassy. Just like yesterday I taught you guys how you can read the room wrong. What energy are you in, right? If I'm in horrible energy, I'm going to read everything negative. A text, I'm going to read it out of context. An email, I'm going to read it in all caps. Conversation and tone, I'm going to read it in you coming for me. However, if I'm in good energy, it doesn't matter if I see the email in all caps. I'm going to look at it like, dang, she is mad. All right, enter. If I'm in a good mood, like I had a guy, I was texting this guy, right? And he said something crazy to me, I'm in good energy. See, what you just proved to me is that I definitely don't want to talk to you because he took it out of context. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So block, delete. That's it. I'm not going to go back and forth and say, child, bye. That's it. That's just how I am. right? I can't allow what you do to bring me out of who I say I am. My energy is good. But then there is the one that the enemy dresses up. Let me tell you. So you have the healed version of you that's in good energy. Then you have the survival mode you that's read everything in all caps. Then you have the fake it till you make it you. Which one do you fall in? The one that see that people are healing. That looks so good on there. I'm going to heal. But you really don't change anything on the inside. You change everything on the outside. So let me tell you what that look like. Email come to you in all caps. You like, because you burning up on the inside. They done pissed you off. But on the outside, you're this healed individual. I see you're concerned. And please, at any time, just reach out to me. Or I hear you. And thank you so much for your advice. Bless your heart. I told you I would bless your heart mean. Send. Now, what you did was nice, nasty. Nothing about that. And a lot of people think that, oh, that's being professional. Oh, never let them see you sweat. That is survival mode toxic trait. Either you're healed or you're not. You can't be nice, nasty. People made that a thing. Oh, nice, nasty. That's not a thing. You just nasty. You're just nasty. Don't allow, in order for you to upset me, I have to be in your type of energy. That's it. So that's for that, okay? Where we at? So delayed decisions. There we go. Approval from others will keep you stuck when you rely on other people's approval, meaning that you second guess yourself, you delay your decisions, you stay in your comfort zone, you avoid risk, you fear judgment, you limit yourself. You start asking, what will they think of me? Will they approve? Will they support me? Will they like this? And because of that, you don't start, you don't grow, you don't speak, and you don't move forward, all because you worried about them. Now, approval becomes a cage. Let's look at it. Approval becomes a cage when you do it that way. You cannot build confidence, develop leadership, grow into your purpose if your decisions are controlled by other people's opinion. Leaders are not controlled by approval. Leaders are guided by purpose. Remember that. You are not controlled by approval. You are guided by what? Purpose, God. Purpose, God. Passion is of self. So if you're passionate about somebody, it's kind of like a review. I don't know how I got on this whole, all on my social media, Dorisha Perkles. But that pudding is funny, ain't it? And so this is an example of that. It was a review. I'm a business owner. I give a review. Now, you don't like it. You leave a review. You don't like it. It is not my job to try and persuade you to like it. That is it. We are not controlled by approval. Leaders are guided by purpose. The best thing that I would do is, okay, look at the statistics of it. My analytics. Okay. This many people like it. This many people don't. Now, how are you getting people to like it? Is it, am I paying them? Or is this true analytics? True, what they think of it. So that's what I would go by, right? And then if it's bad, I will go ahead and fix whatever it needs to be fixed. But not off of one person. Because maybe you just don't like it. Or like me. Period. But I'm not going to go back and forth. I don't know how I got on that time. I don't know how that timeline. TikTok just be dropping me off, driving me somewhere and drop me somewhere when I decide to scroll, when I got a little bit of time. And I'm like, you know what, that sounds good. Let me look at this. Let me try that. And then boom. Now I want some pickles. I'm not going to lie. I seen the video and baby, I went to Popeyes, got me some of that crunchy fried chicken and I wanted a pickle because she made it look good. So it did. It did. So learn to approve. Learn to approve yourself. Your self-approval. Learn to do that. This is a shift now. This is the shift. Instead of asking, do they approve? I want you to ask, do I approve? Do I approve? Before I put this content out, guess what? I approved it. I study it before I bring it out. The night before, I go over it to make sure. Yeah. Because my whole thing is, whatever God tell me to do, I'm going to do it. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. I'm not going to make you stay by changing who I am to fit so people can feel comfortable. I am for people that set apart. If you went through what I went through, here's my testimony. This is how I came out on the other side. I am the example. I am the other side. So if you want to know why you in hell right now and feeling like you're just going through hell, what the other side looked like, it looked like me, a woman standing in purpose that is comfortable and confident in who she is, that is strong mentally, spiritually, and physically in all aspects. And I'm not a hater. I reach back and I pour into others. I am a leader that develop other leaders. That's what healed leaders do. We develop other leaders. I don't just gatekeep. I don't keep things to myself. I'm not trying to sell you everything. I'm not trying to hustle to get the next dollar. I'm not trying to fake it till I make it. Baby, I got a testimony that I'm going through right now in my life. It's the biggest storm that I am going through in my life right now, but it is not the time to tell you because of the fact I have to get on the other side of that. But I'll tell you what's happening, why the storm is happening. It is cloudy, baby. And it is raining really, really hard, but you will never be able to tell because, baby, I am the rainbow. Do you understand? I know, just like Daniel knew when he went in that lion's den, that God was going to show up because he is omnipresent in everything. So nothing can affect me. So I am the rainbow in the storm. That's why I don't have to, no, I'm not faking it till I make it. It's just the fact that I understand that the storm is not mine. My job is to continue doing everything. I told you when the enemy is doing his job, he's going to constantly attack you. That's his job. He's never going to stop. It doesn't matter if I rebuke or pray or this and the third. But because I understand that I am at work, God has me in my working mode. It is not a test. I am at work. He has activated me. Power Rangers activated. It's me and other people going on right now in the same kind of storm. We just haven't met each other yet. And now we're in the storm. But what I know is that no matter what's happening, I still have to work. I'm still out here teaching. I'm still out here showing you things. I'm still laughing. I'm still going on with life because I understand that this ain't my battle. That's God's battle. He has to fight those battles. I am the rainbow. So keep hope alive. That's all I'm doing. I am the rainbow. And that's what I have to keep doing because you have to see by example. I understand God is doing this so you can see the glory right through me, God's glory, because he's the only one that can get glory. So when I do tell my testimony and you sit back, you're like, wait, all that was going on? Goals. No, it's not goals. This is just what it looked like when you get on the other side. So instead of asking, do they approve? You ask, do I approve? Instead of asking, what will they think? I want you to ask, what do I think? Okay. And instead of asking, will they support me? Ask, do I support myself? Listen, when you start to heal and you get on the other side, you realize, remember when no one was supporting you? And remember what you said? Nope. You wouldn't celebrate me when I was going through and when I was building. You not going to celebrate me when it come to fruition, when it come to this, because your mind was already set on the end goal that it was going to look like something, famous and this, that, and the third, right? And you don't even realize that you're living in your glory right now. You're waiting for your enemies to be your footstool when they are your footstool already. You're waiting to see that, sitting at the table when you feasting and they looking up at you. They're already doing that. That's why they hating on you. Y'all already sitting at the table. You don't have the money that they have, but you have the glory that they don't have, right? So therefore, yes, they hating on you. They at the table right now. And all the things that you're waiting on God to do is happening to you right now, but you can't see it until you finish the healing because you have to rewire your brain. So when you looking at people didn't support you, it wasn't about people supporting you. It was about you learning how to support yourself. Everything wasn't about how people treat you. It was about how you treat yourself. That's the whole purpose of healing. Getting you back to your true authentic self and turning your life into I. Not of passion, meaning selfish, meaning I. Because you are accountable for everything that you do to God. He's not going to say y'all. He's going to say you. So that's what the whole purpose of healing is. And in leadership, you heal you can lead many. Do you understand? Before God get ready to bless you with this big promotion and things that you need, it is things that you need and want. Thank you so much for the follow, Tanya. He has to prepare you for leadership. But you want to lead people. How can you lead people, but you haven't led yourself? See, spiritual and physical is totally different. As a leader in physical, you can have the knowledge of going to school or just, whatever. You can get hired just because I know you, just because I trust you, right? But in the spiritual realm, your leadership is your testimony, because your testimony is what's going to lead the people. If you haven't healed, but I'm going to teach you how to heal, but I didn't go through the process, I'm going to fail you. God is not going to elevate me. God is not going to give me everything that my heart desire of this. Everything that he told me I will be is not going to come to fruition, even though it is meant to, but it's not going to, because I'm not ready for it yet. I want to tell people what to do, but I don't want to do anything. Kind of like them baby boomers, right? Them parents right there they seen all the flaws in you. They don't see no flaws in themselves. They're not going to take accountability for nothing. The world is bad, not me. You crazy, not me. Do you understand? So yeah, self-approval. So let me tell you what self-approval look like. Let's talk about it. It looks like trusting your decisions, speaking confidently, setting boundaries, doing what's right for you, following your goals, being okay with being misunderstood, being okay with not being liked by everyone. I had to learn to be okay with that. At one point, it used to, oh my God, make me cry, make me feel a type of way. Now, I don't care, baby. I will come and sit at a restaurant with the entire, I don't care if it's the family, friend, work. I don't care, and be at a table by myself and be just fine. I'm okay if people don't talk to me. I'm okay if people don't check them. I'm okay if people don't help me. I'm okay with all those things. I don't hold grudges. I'm not going to say, yeah, when I get big, look, my hand itching at me, I'm about to get some money. When I get big, y'all ain't help me get there, so you ain't getting none. No. What I learned is my cup is for me. God blessed me and filled my cup up. The cup is for me. I've learned to not pour out of my cup. I learned that the overflow is what I can share, because God has blessed me enough that I can share. But I also learned that it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. It's who God say I need to give it to. So when you approve of yourself, you become free. What does free? Free to do what? Free to do what? Grow. Listen, once I walked away, my final thing to defeat was working for other people. I can be myself. I can come on here and be very truthful with you guys of the things that I went through in my life. I'm free to grow. I'm free to change. I can change it up however I want. Let me tell you about my hair, right? I told y'all, for the ones that was here, I've always wore short hair. But the other day I was like, okay, it's time to change. I had just cut my hair into like a cute little bob, and it was growing out, and I was cool with it, right? But then that was a season of me becoming. I had became, right? And I started, but now I'm in a different season. See, you don't stay in the become season forever. You become, and then you do, right? Now the season that I'm in my celebrity season, right? What do I mean by that? I'm the coach that's going to save the world. In order to save the world, I have to teach you how to heal. So now that I have become, now these are the times that you're sought after, people look to you, your clientele grow, your platforms grow, things are out there, you start doing appearances, you start doing this, you start, different platforms and things like that. And I was like, you know what, I need a change. Maybe I went in that mirror. Yeah. I learned a little skills when I was in Iraq. So I told you I wore short hair all the time. And I learned how to cut a cute little pixie. I learned how to do that. And so that's my thing, because I don't need someone else to do something that I know how to do, and then I know how I'm going to like it. Now, the only thing that I don't do is like the whole edge, and so I'm going to see my barber today so he can taper me down real good. But this is the face. This is the face of the Lead Her movement, right? So you've seen the face of the Trinity of Fitness Bootcamp when I became, right? And now this is the face of the Lead Her movement. So when you see me, you already know. When you see that pixie, you already know. Now I might throw a wig on here and there just because. Thank you, Nay. I might do that just because, but it's just one of those things that I just become. I'm me. I do me. So that's why I want you guys. I want you to be just like I am. And that's why I give you so much homework, so much teaching, so you can be so focused on you, you don't have time for everybody else. That's where I want. What up, M-Town? So listen. So you become free to grow, change, evolve, try, fail, learn, become. Listen, when I fail, where I'm at right now in my life, I'm enjoying it. I'm not working. I'm actually just being myself. I'm being myself. I'm not working. And so when I fail at something, I don't see it as a failure. I see it as, okay, that didn't work. So me and my cousin, we're going with the Lead Her app network that I'm doing. Right now, her and I send her stuff so she can see if it worked or whatever. And I just found out something didn't work. I didn't get frustrated. I'm like, okay, that didn't work. I didn't get frustrated. I'm like, okay, this is a learning experience. And I told her these are learning lessons, so this is good, right? So now instead of me looking at it as a failure, look at, okay, that didn't work. Let's try it this way. And it allows my mind to just think. And since I've been healing and healed and going through the process, my mind has nothing to attach to anymore of the old filter, meaning that it doesn't have, oh, it ain't going to make it. It ain't going to go right. People ain't going to like it. No, it goes to try it this way. Well, if people like that, what about this? It tries to be successful versus looking for the route to go to failure. My mind don't operate like that no more. So you don't need applause to move forward. You need to believe in yourself. Listen, what celebrity and success look like to the survival mind is you have to be everywhere. You have to be. No, when you believe that's who you are, everything just starts opening up that way. That's just what it is. It just opens up that way, right? Now, what everybody else think, I don't care what they think. For me, this is how I feel. So fresh, so clean. So let's go ahead and do a recap of everything that we learned today. So we learned that you don't need everyone to understand you, support you, or approve of you. The only approval you truly need is your own. When you stop seeking validations, you start stepping into your power. Now, this is what I need y'all to do. I need y'all to get your notebook because we've got some homework, okay? Okay? Let's go into it. So we know what the RPI is. The RPI is how you do a checks and balance. Acknowledge, release, practice, inner exploring, empower. So acknowledge. Do I seek approval from others? Acknowledge that. R for release. Release the need for validation. Okay? P for practice. Make a decision for yourself today. Today, make a decision and stick with it. Consistency. Okay? I for inner explore. Why do I need approval from others? And then E for empower, I approve of myself. Now, this is the journal. What you're going to journal. I give you 3 prompts. You can journal all 3. You can do whatever you want. The first one is, where in my life do I seek approval from others? How has seeking validation held me back? And what decisions have I avoided because of fear of judgment? Now, if you missed any of these, I'm going to have this on my YouTube. My YouTube is Chat with Coach Nye. It's going to be housed under the Lead Her Morning Show, so you can go back to it. Thank you for the follow. Now, listen. Now, here's your homework. Do something for yourself. Just you. Don't be like me. I'm going to go do something. Hank, welcome in. I hope you're doing amazing. I hope you're feeling much better. Listen, do something for yourself. Just today only. Don't be like me. Go to the store. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go get me this and I'm going to do this. And then I tell my son, you want to go? Or when we in the store, I'm like, this is only for me to get something. And I turn around, you want something? No, do it for you. Do it for you. Baby, if you want to supersize your french fries today, do it. You do what make you happy, okay? So we're going to do our declaration and get ready to shut this thing down. So I want you to repeat after me. I do not live for approval. I trust myself. I believe in myself. And I approve of myself. I am free to grow, change, and become who I am meant to be. And I'm sending prayers out to you, Hank. You're going to get through this. You're going to get through this. So the scripture for today is Galatians chapter 1:10. Let's talk about it. Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. So read Galatians, the whole chapter of chapter 1, okay? Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. So let me give y'all the updates that's going on. That is the end of class, but let me give y'all the updates of what's coming down the pipeline. Tomorrow we're going to talk about, we're just going to do a recap, a weekly reflection. I changed things up. So most people do a weekly reflection on like a Friday. I will do it on a Monday. I will do it on a Tuesday. I'll do it whenever I feel I need it to be done. But that's what we're going to do, a recap of everything that we learned tomorrow. Okay. But anyway, let's get down to what's going on. So this is the Lead Her Morning Show, where I teach women how to become the best version of themselves, leadership, self-love, discipline, things of that nature. And with that, I have a network coming out, the Lead Her Movement Network. And in that network, that's where I'll be doing what I'm doing. Hey, buddy, what I'm doing now, right? It's going to be inside that network. I'm going to be doing live teaching. I'm also a personal trainer, so therefore I'm going to be personal training. I'm going to introduce you to my 6-minute ab class, and then we're going to do, full body workouts. Either they're going to be pre-recorded, or maybe it's going to be all of both. Some days it'll be pre-recorded. Some days it'll just be workout plans for that week, or we'll just go live and work out together. I hate saying workout, but I say it because it's more understood, but it's training, right? Things like that. That network is where women, we build a tribe. We build each other up. So even like simple, small things, I'm talking about to the smallest thing. You know how you'll have a member circle. It's a member circle where all the members, you can see who's all members. And when you fill out your profile, you'll see who's in your area and, things that y'all have in common, things like that. Easily connect, because what I'm teaching is sisterhood, real true sisterhood. I'm bringing that back, meaning that it takes a village. So with that, you'll be able to communicate. But instead of me calling you guys members, I call you beloved. In your profile, you're a beloved. You are somebody. And then you have another one. Like when you look for members, it'll say family. So it's things like that. So in your sister circle, that's what it's called, the sister circle. That is where you would post. You can post just like you do here. You post it and everyone can see it. You guys can comment on it. And then in your space, you can have your own private chat that you can chat. Hey, welcome in. You can chat with other members privately, or you can chat in the sister circle. And then we have the huddle feed, the tribe huddle feed, the healing huddle, which is like the community feed where you can see where everyone else posts. So it's things like that. And then we'll have our challenges and we'll have our coursework. And it depends on what tier you're in, of what level access do you get to teaching, because some people are going to get different teachings and some people won't get teachings, or some people will. But at the end of the day, I'll still do something of a live event that everyone, it doesn't matter what your tier is. You understand that I'll still be open to you guys. I'm also going to be doing life coaching over there. So you'll be able to, whatever tier you get, be able to come with me, and we do a monthly life coaching where I give you structured material focused just for you, so you can help build. So it's amazing over there. Y'all get full access to me. That's where my job is going to be. My 9 to 5 will be the Lead Her Network. Now, will I still be doing the morning show? I don't know, because the network is my priority, because that's my job. That's where I will have you guys, and I owe you guys, right? So that's coming down the pipeline. So May 19th, I will be opening up to the founding members where you guys can get a discounted price, and that'll be your price for the entire year. That's what it is. So every month, that's what you'll pay. That's what's coming down. So subscribe to my website, TOF Bootcamp. Subscribe to the email so you can get an email when these things go live, and you can jump on it, because it's the first 20 slots in each tier. And then that's that. And so we got that going on, right? If you missed the Lead Her Morning Show today or any other day, you can go to my YouTube. My YouTube is Chat with Coach Nye, and you can find this. This is why I house them. I go ahead and upload them there, right? You're so welcome, Paula. So go check it out. YouTube, Chat with Coach Nye. Check out all my playlists. I got a lot of homework over there. So now let's get to my YouTube. My YouTube, what do I house over there? I have the Power Within. I have the Cozy Sunday Chat with Coach Nye. I have the 31-Day Inner Transformation. Listen, that was an amazing class. I taught for 31 days full hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours courses. of that day. And that was really good. So that's the 31-day inner transformation. What else did I do? Thank you for the follow, Joe. The Lead Her movement is over there. Oh, and the Women of the Bible. So I do a leadership course of all the women of the Bible. So every Sunday. So go check that out. That is under the Coach Nye Leadership Lounge playlist. So check it out. Subscribe to my YouTube, Chat with Coach Nye, and hit the notification bell. So when I go live over there, you guys can catch that. So what else do I have? So we're done with YouTube. Now my podcast. Today is the last episode of Daniel chapter 6. Once I get off here, I'm going to upload it. I usually have it uploaded, but yesterday was an emotional day. I lost my aunt, and that is like the matriarch of the family. That is grandma. You know, even though she's my aunt, she was in her 90s. So that was just something, right? So send up prayers for my family. And then, so it didn't get uploaded yet, but it will be. So go ahead, download my my podcast, Chat with Coach Nye. Thank you. Listen, and that's why I say you never know what a person is going through just because they show up in their professional mode of operating their purpose. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's so much that's going on in my life. It's funny, 11:11, but I have to stay focused because I'm doing God's work, so I can't allow my emotions to affect my leadership. So back to the podcast. My podcast is Chat with Coach Nye. Download it so you guys can listen to the last episode of Daniel's God's Plan, Leadership Through the Book of Daniel. I also have the 31-day Leadership Through Proverbs. I got a lot of good stuff over there, so go check it out. And I appreciate it. So that's that. My podcast, my YouTube, and here is Chat with Coach Nye. My group me, I have a group me right now. I don't know, once the network get up, am I still going to do group me? But until then, I put homework there. So every platform I just told you about, everything that I'm telling you to listen to, it has homework in it. It's for healing. My group me, I put homework in it every week. Every week I put homework in it. So yeah. So my group me is Chat with Coach Nye. And you guys look under the here on TikTok, my playlist, the healing assignments. That playlist, every week I put a new homework assignment out. All I ask that you guys do is share it out. You don't have to like it. You ain't got to share. You ain't got to comment. You ain't got to like it. Just share it out so other people can get the healing. The whole purpose of me is to teach everyone to get away from the new world of gatekeeping and I got to get mine and this community thing. I don't like this whole community thing. No. I build a tribe. A community is where a bunch of people come for the same purpose to get a thing, but they don't care nothing about the next person. They're just there to get a thing, not trying to grow anything. They're there to get a thing to apply to them for their need, their passion, what they want, not for God's purpose, not for God's glory. Because a tribe is where you come together. You can't get to the next step unless you come together, right? It's impossible for this sisterhood to be broken if we're all locked in here. Meaning that I'm not worrying about, can I trust you? We're going in with emotions and survival mode left at the door. Because once you sign up, you are stepping into the healed version of you. That's what happens when you sign up to the Lead Her movement. You are stepping into the healed version of you, and it's impossible for you to fail because we're here. Survival mode, every time you log on every day, that's what it is. You are in healed mode until you become that. And that's the thing about, I want to make it that you're so focused on yourself while we're in that network. This is your new social media. And you make it the best. You post something. You ain't going to post no nonsense because you're going to get kicked out. Quick, fast, zero tolerance. I don't want to hear about, no funny meme. And it's about, the bride of Chucky. They talking about did you burn up my car? She got smoke all on her. And you like, no, none of that. Because I told you the enemy will dress up little funny things, but it's still attached to something toxic. No, in the tribe, we grow. That's it. So if that's what you want, then just don't even sign up, because baby, you just gonna waste your money, because there's no refunds after you sign up and you say and you get kicked out. It ain't gonna be none of that. Best believe that. Thank you so much, Amp, for the follow. So back to that. So yeah, the weekly homework assignment is here. And if you sign up at my website, tofbootcamp.com, get on the email subscribe list, then I'll email you the homework every week. That's just how it go. I want you guys to check out my blog because I put things out on my blog. And check out my podcast, Chat with Coach Nye. Check out my YouTube, Chat with Coach Nye. Come here every morning at 9:30. I try and be here at 9:30 unless something is going on. Every morning, the Lead Her Morning Show, weekdays, I will have a class for you. And the last thing that I want to introduce you to is the Trinity Owners United. The Trinity Owners United is another thing that I've created. Listen, I got so many things going on, right? And so that's where I give back to you. I'm a leader that develop other leaders. And in that, I open up my platform so you can promote. This is for small business owners, okay? And small content creators. Don't come in here with your, over 50K followers and all the, no, this is for the small content creators. Because what happens is you're very intelligent. You have a lot of great resources. You have knowledge. You have wisdom. You have great product. It's just that you're not being seen. So it's not that I got a lot of followers. It's just the fact that I'm going to give you my platform so you can show another audience that you probably would have never seen. Get to show them your product. So that's what's opening up right now. I should start it next month. The thing that's going on with it right now is I'm not only doing that, I'm actually creating content that I can teach as well before I open up the platform for you guys to come in. So therefore, it brings the people in. And then as I'm teaching them what unity is and all that, then I open it up. Well, we got the people in. Now, guess what? You can promote your stuff. Look at God. He's getting the glory through it, and you getting the shine. But do not think that I'm going to be promoting your stuff. I'm not. I'm opening up my platform. I will let people know that this is what I'm doing. Your job is still to pour into yourself. Go on your platform. Let them know that you're going live. Start making a buzz about your stuff. Stop being... I'm going to open up the platform, and we going to be in there, okay? Okay? No nonsense, though. It's no nonsense. All right, so that was my job to teach you what real friendship is, real sisterhood is. I ain't talking about sis. I ain't talking about real sisterhood, the way God created us to be. Okay? So I think I got everything. So you guys, if you haven't followed, go ahead and follow so you can stay up to date with everything that's going on. You are so welcome. A little bit, a lot. Listen, if no one told you today, I'm telling you now, I love you. And I'm super proud of you. And I'm so glad you chose this platform to listen to. Daniel 6 will be out soon. Remember to pour into yourself before you pour into others. So YouTube, podcast, group me, Chat with Coach Nye. Website, tofbootcamp.com. All right. I love you guys. I love you guys. Coach Nye out. And if you missed this episode, it is on my YouTube. Check out my link tree in my bio. All right. I'm out. Y'all have an amazing rest of the day.